Did you know that something like 70% of new products fail in their first year?
70%. Yeah, it's a huge number.
It's pretty shocking, isn't it? And what's maybe even more surprising is, well, it's often not because the product is bad.
Right, not because it isn't innovative or anything.
Exactly. It's because of this one thing, this often overlooked secret weapon,
Which is...
marketing.
Well,
Welcome to the deep dive.
So today, we're really going to dive deep into marketing, using the sources you've shared with us.
Okay.
And our mission really is to unpack all that, pull out the surprising facts, the key insights about what marketing actually is.
More than just ads.
Way more. And how it drives business goals. You know, the core objectives, it's not just flashy commercials.
Definitely not.
Think of this as like your quick but thorough understanding of this really vital force in business today.
It's a fascinating area, truly, because you see how products that maybe seem insignificant can become absolute giants with the right strategy, of course.
Right, strategy. And even the big names, you know, the legendary brands like Coca-Cola, they didn't just pop up fully formed.
No magic involved.
No, their success, their staying power, it comes down to some really sophisticated and constantly evolving marketing strategies over time.
Okay, so let's unpack that first bit then. The idea that marketing equals advertising.
Yeah, the common misconception.
It's what most people think, right? Billboards, TV ads, maybe those annoying pop-ups online.
That's the visible part.
But it's a dangerous way to think if you're running a business or even starting one. Remember that 70% failure rate.
Hard to forget.
Well, the sources suggest it's largely down to poor marketing, not, a lack of a good idea. So why do we get it wrong?
Well, I think it's because the real scope of marketing is just so much broader. It's one definition calls it a total system of interacting activities.
A system.
Designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute products. So planning, pricing, promotion, and distribution.
Okay, the 4 Ps, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. But it's about how they interact. And at the heart of it all, there's this really fundamental question every business has to keep asking.
Which is?
What do customers want to buy now and in the future? It's not about pushing your product.
It's about pulling them in by meeting a need.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Anticipating and satisfying those needs. That's the core.
And this is where it gets, well, I think really interesting. The American Marketing Association, the AMA.
The authority.
Their definition, it talks about creating exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives.
Exchanges. That's key.
It is. It's that whole process, thinking up the product, pricing it, telling people, getting it to them, the whole journey.
Creating a win-win. The customer's happy, the business achieves its goals.
Exactly. And that apparently is how some products that seem, well, insignificant at first can become bestsellers, even essential items. It's down to that well-managed professional marketing plan.
And that plan itself is crucial. It's not just an idea floating around. It's usually a formal document.
A blueprint.
Yeah, listing the activities, the outcomes you're aiming for. It's a template for action. And this isn't just for startups. Think about Volkswagen.
Huge global brand.
Massive.
Yeah.
Went from pretty modest sales to, over 10 million globally now? And here in Australia, over 41,000 vehicles a year.
Wow.
That kind of sustained success, it doesn't happen by accident. It's what happens when businesses develop and really stick to implementing effective marketing plans.
Without one, you're just guessing.
Pretty much flying blind, yeah.
So, okay, if we understand what marketing is now, this whole system,
Right.
then the critical first step for any business has to be establishing its customer base.
Absolutely fundamental.
And we're not talking just anyone who buys once, right? This is the core group, the repeat purchasers.
The ones who are your main source of revenue.
Yeah, and why is that so vital?
Well, it does a few things. It proves your product offers real value. It helps you build a connection.
Creates loyalty.
Exactly. And drives those repeat purchases that, keep the business sustainable.
Okay, so how do you find that base?
You start by creating a customer profile. It's like a basic description of your ideal customer.
Give me an example.
Okay. Say you sell specialized hiking gear online. Your profile might be Alex, 35, 45 years old, lives near national parks, works in tech, values durability and sustainability, reads outdoor magazines online.
So they're pretty specific.
Yeah. It covers their likely behaviors, their needs, demographics, age, gender, maybe education, but also interests, Lifestyle, opinions, values, even where they live. It's much sharper than just people who hike.
And then some businesses go even further with something called a customer persona.
Right, the persona. It's like taking that profile and making it into a fictional person, giving them a name, a backstory almost.
Like Sarah, the graphic designer you mentioned earlier for coffee.
Exactly like Sarah. And businesses often have several personas, maybe 3 or 4, representing different segments of their customer base.
And these personas detail things like their job title, goals, challenges.
Yeah, all of that. Plus, importantly, what drives their buying decisions? What are their pain points? How do they research products? What makes them choose one brand over another?
So these aren't just like fun exercises. They actually drive strategy.
Oh, absolutely. They guide everything from product development to the messages you use in your advertising. They're key for ongoing success.
Makes sense.
And the benefits of getting this right are clear. More loyalty, higher sales, better market share. But it does take investment.
Right. It's not free.
No. There are financial costs. Market research isn't cheap. Neither is implementing the marketing mix. And it takes a lot of time.
Logistics, research, refining the strategy.
Exactly. Getting them in the door is one thing. Turning them into loyal, repeat customers takes sustained effort. But the insight is the cost of not doing this, of not understanding your customer. That's usually far, far higher in the long run.
Okay, so we know what marketing is, this whole system. We know you need to definitely understand your customer base, your personas.
Yep.
How does that connect to the bigger picture, the overall business goals?
Well, it connects directly. These marketing strategies, they are designed specifically to help achieve those primary business objectives.
Like increasing sales.
That's a big one. Yeah. Also increasing market share, expanding the business itself.
Growing bigger.
And arguably one of the most critical, maximizing customer service.
Let's break those down. How does marketing directly increase sales?
By reaching the right consumers efficiently. Remember the customer profile. Think about radio stations playing, say, golden oldies from the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
Who advertises there? Often it's retirement villages, maybe funeral homes, financial planning for retirees.
Because they know the listeners are likely in that demographic.
Exactly. Or they have parents who are.
Yeah.
It's targeted. They're not wasting money advertising skateboards there. It's about putting the right message in front of the right ears or eyes to maximize the chance of a sale.
Smart. And market share, especially in crowded markets like snacks or soft drinks.
Super competitive. So marketing plans there are often explicitly designed to grab a bigger slice of the pie.
Taking share from rivals.
Yeah. By understanding what different customer segments want, maybe one group wants healthier options, another wants value packs, and tailoring the product or message accordingly. It's about finding that competitive edge.
And then expansion. How does marketing fuel that?
Well, if your marketing is working and your customer base is growing, expansion often follows naturally.
Need a bigger shop.
Could be a larger premises, yeah.
Yeah.
Or opening new branches. Or, importantly, expanding your product mix.
What's that?
The range of products you offer. Think of a florist. They start with flowers.
Right.
But they listen to customers. People ask, do you have vases? Do you sell cards? So they add vases, cards, baby ribbons, candles, small gifts.
Ah, okay. So they expand what they sell based on customer demand.
Exactly. Adapting that product mix based on changing tastes and needs, anticipated by good marketing, is crucial for long-term profit.
Which brings us to the last one, customer service. You said some argue it's the most important.
Many do, yeah, because it really boils down to this.
Yeah.
High levels of service lead to satisfied customers.
Happy customers.
Happy customers react positively, they build that solid base, and crucially, they come back. Repeat purchases.
Is there anything better for a business than repeat customers?
Not really. And the flip side is pretty scary. There's this startling statistic about word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
One dissatisfied customer might tell, say, 10 other people about their bad experience.
Okay, that's bad enough.
But then each of those 10 might tell another 5 people.
Whoa, that escalates quickly.
It's like this negative ripple effect. That kind of bad buzz can genuinely, make or break a business, especially smaller ones.
Yeah.
It just highlights how every single customer interaction matters.
Wow. Okay, that's powerful. Let's shift gears and look at a real-world example. A masterclass, really. Coca-Cola.
The ultimate case study, perhaps.
One of the most successfully marketed products ever. But here's a fun fact I found. It started as a patent medicine.
That's right, back in 1886. John Pemberton, a pharmacist in Atlanta.
And back then, carbonated water was seen as healthy, right?
Yeah, they thought it was good for you. And Pemberton claimed Coke cured, well, pretty much everything.
Like what?
Morphine addiction, Indigestion, nerve problems, headaches, even impotence.
Get out of here. Seriously.
Seriously. And the name Coca-Cola literally came from two key ingredients. Cola nuts for caffeine.
And coca leaves, as in?
Yes, as in cocaine, though the amount was reduced pretty early on and removed entirely later. But that's where the name came from.
Incredible. So how did it go from miracle cure to global soda icon?
Well, a businessman named Asa Candler bought the formula and brand in 1889, founded the actual Coca-Cola company in 92.
And he was the marketing brain.
He was a pioneer, definitely. He didn't just sell it locally. He pushed for widespread promotion across the U.S., put the logo everywhere.
On posters, calendars.
Notebooks, bookmarks, you name it. And get this, he had traveling salesmen giving out coupons for a free Coke.
Free samples. That's classic.
Absolutely. These early strategies were fundamental to it dominating the world market later in the 20th century.
And dominate it did. It sold, what, everywhere except Cuba and North Korea?
Pretty much, yeah. But even then, success wasn't instant everywhere. When it launched in Australia in 1938.
Which was 50 years after the U.S. launch.
Yeah. Even though Aussies were drinking more soft drinks, Coke struggled initially. Reps were apparently lucky if a shop owner bought even one bottle at first.
Shows even Coke had to work for it.
It does. And it shows the importance of adapting the marketing. That's the real insight.
How did they adapt?
Well, initially, their ads targeted an older group, maybe reflecting its medicine origins.
Right.
But over time, they strategically shifted. They started focusing heavily on teenagers, young adults. They changed with the culture.
And the bottle, that famous shape.
That became iconic, didn't it? But it wasn't even trademarked until 1977. It became a massive part of their overall marketing strategy, instantly recognizable.
So Coke is obviously heavily advertised.
Hugely.
But the takeaway is that advertising is just one piece of their success.
Exactly. It's branding, it's distribution, it's product consistency, it's adaptation.
Yeah.
It's that whole multifaceted marketing system we talked about. Constantly reinvent it.
Okay, so having a plan, like Coke did, is crucial. But just having it isn't enough, is it?
Not at all. You have to constantly check if it's actually working. Are you achieving your objectives?
So you need to evaluate.
Continuously. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
You establish the plan, you monitor what's happening, you evaluate the results, good or bad, and then the crucial step.
You adjust.
You take corrective action, fix what's broken, double down on what's working. It's never set it and forget it.
How do businesses actually measure that success? What do they look at?
There are a few common performance indicators. Three big ones are. First, sales analysis.
Comparing forecast sales to actual sales.
Exactly. Did you hit your targets? Why or why not? It tells you if the strategy is delivering on the bottom line.
Okay, makes sense. What's second?
Market share analysis. This means looking at your sales performance relative to your competitors.
So are you gaining ground or losing it?
Right. And it helps you figure out if changes in your sales are due to your marketing, or if maybe everyone's sales are down because of, say, an economic downturn.
External factors.
Precisely. There are even companies like media monitors that help businesses track this stuff, watching media channels constantly.
And the third indicator?
Marketing profitability analysis. This one's really important because sales and market share don't tell the whole story.
Why not?
Because they don't account for the cost of achieving those sales.
The ROI?
Essentially, yeah. You need to break down all your marketing costs, advertising, transport, admin, order processing, everything.
And see if each activity is pulling its weight.
Exactly. Is it effective? Is it worth the resources you're pouring into it? Think about TV advertising. It can cost hundreds of thousands, even millions.
You need to know if that massive spend is actually generating enough profit to justify it.
You absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like you said, you could be succeeding on paper but actually losing money. You need the full picture: sales, share, and cost.
Right.
Got it. So this constant evaluation, this focus on the customer, the integration, it feels like more than just a department's job.
It absolutely is. And that leads nicely into something called the marketing concept.
Okay, what's that?
It's really a philosophy. It's the idea that all parts of the business, everyone, from finance to production to HR, everyone is involved in satisfying customer needs and wants, while also achieving the business's own goals.
So it's integrated across the whole company.
Deeply integrated. It's got sort of 4 principles.
Yeah.
It has to be customer-oriented, supported by integrated strategies across departments, aimed squarely at satisfying those customers, and built into the overall business plan from the start.
It's a whole business mindset then, not just a marketing function.
That's the core idea. It's about making the entire company obsessed with the customer.
Can you give a practical example of that integration?
Sure. Let's say your marketing plan calls for, I don't know, Christmas puddings to be on shelves by November 15th.
No. Well, the production department's plan has to align with that. They need to make them in time.
Yeah.
Delivering puddings on December 26th isn't going to work, right?
Definitely not.
And finance needs to be linked in. If marketing wants to run a big, expensive ad campaign for those puddings, the money needs to be budgeted and available.
And HR?
HR needs to make sure you have enough staff, properly trained staff, maybe in the stores, to handle the Christmas rush and provide good service when people come looking for those puddings.
So every part of the business has to work together, synchronized, based on that marketing plan and what the customer needs.
Exactly. It's a cohesive, interdependent effort. That's the marketing concept in action.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive this has been. We've really unpacked a lot.
We have.
We've seen that marketing is way more than just ads. It's this whole powerful system.
About understanding and connecting with customers.
Finding those relationships, achieving core business goals, and like with Coke, constantly evolving.
Even the giants have to adapt.
It really underscores how vital it is.
And, understanding this stuff isn't just for people running businesses. No, I think it's fascinating for anyone. It helps you understand how the products and services all around us, the ones we use every day, how they come to be, how they change.
How they're trying to anticipate what we want next.
Exactly. It really does change how you look at the world, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So thinking about that, given that marketing is so focused on finding out what customers want now and, crucially, in the future, what new frontiers do you think businesses are exploring right now to try and predict our next desires? And I guess how might that shape the products and services we see coming down the pipeline in the next few years?
That's a great question to ponder. The crystal ball of consumer desire.
Something for everyone to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.